um, that I've neglected. But I read it when I was at a very low part of my life, and I needed instruction. I needed direction. And I didn't know this, but this book was written by Solomon. It even says it right here. This book is called Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, right? Not Ecclesiasticus, my bad, but Ecclesiastes, or the preacher. That's what Ecclesiastes means. Because in it, Solomon is an excellent preacher, and he sets forth the vanity of the things of this world to withdraw the hearts and affections of men from such empty toys. I like how they use the word toys. That's kind of funny. But yeah, this is Ecclesiastes. My bad. I'll have to change the. I'll make the title Ecclesiastes. I was thinking of a different book with the similar name, but I'll read that book again too. Anyway, the words of Ecclesiastes, the son of David, king of Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, said Ecclesiastes. Vanity of vanities, and all is vanity. What has a man more of all his labor that he takes under the sun? One generation passes away, and another generation comes, but the earth stands forever. The sun rises and goes down, and returns to its place, and there, rising again, makes his round by the south, and turns again to the north. The spirit goes forward, surveying all the places round about, and returns to his circuit. So the sun is on a circuit. Okay? If you didn't know, now you know. The sun is going on a circuit. We are not rotating around the sun. Take that as you will. This is Solomon, not me. Okay? This is a wiser man than me. All the rivers run into the sea, if the sea does not overflow. So the rivers are always flowing into the ocean or the sea, but the sea does not overflow. Unto the place from where the rivers come, they return to flow again. So it's an infinite loop. If you haven't noticed it, these are like infinite loops and circles that Solomon is describing, bro. This is the sun going in a circle. The rivers are flowing in an infinite circle, and it keeps going. It keeps going. Watch, watch, watch. Okay. All things are hard. Man cannot explain them by words. The eye is not filled with seeing, neither is the ear filled with hearing. What is it that has been? The same thing that shall be. What is it that has been done? The same that shall be done. What? He's saying, like, bro, life goes on. It's like a cycle. It's chapter 67 is pretty funny. Chapter 6-7. Get out of here, bro. What is it that has been? The same that shall be, right? There's nothing new under the sun. You see? Right there. Nothing new under the sun. Neither is any man able to say, look, this is a new thing. For it has already gone before in the ages that were before us. Okay? Now look, there are inventions. Okay? There are new inventions, but they're not new ideas. It's just more convenient ways to do the same shit. It's just more convenient ways that people come up with to do the same thing. Okay? Am I wrong? No. We had flight before an airplane, okay? We had hot air balloons. We had blimps, okay? We had zeppelins. The airplane's not really a new thing. It's just a faster way to travel through the air. Anyway, there's no remembrance of the former things, facts. We don't really actually know. Nor indeed of those things which come after. Shall there be any remembrance with them that shall be in the latter end. I, Ecclesiastes, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I proposed in my mind to seek and search out wisely concerning all things that are done under the sun. This painful occupation has God given to the children of men to be exercised in them. I have seen all things that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Wow, okay. Okay, Mr. Preacher Man. He's right, though. He's right. Like, I went through the army, I made lots of money, right? And then I lost it. You know, I spent it, and it was gone. You know, I would hang around the wrong people, and it was gone. Read that. Can you read that? Look at this. Can you read this? It's a word you probably haven't seen in a while, but it's Ecclesiastes. I don't know. Y'all children need to read your Bibles. You're obsessed with 6-7. Anyway, I've spoken in my heart. Oh, you know, I missed this. Hold on, I skipped this. The perverse are hard to be corrected. Facts. The number of fools is infinite. Facts. Infinite fools. Well, something in the billions, but still. Infinite. I have spoken in my heart, saying, behold, I've become great, and I've gone beyond all in wisdom that were before me in Jerusalem, and my mind has contemplated many things wisely, and I've learned, and I give my heart to know prudence and learning, and mistakes, and folly. And I have perceived that in these also there was work, vexation of spirit. Because in much wisdom there is much indignation, and he that adds knowledge also adds work. Facts. Facts. So facts. So much facts. Look, it's true. The more I learned about the state of affairs in this world, the more I learned about, like, just everything, you know, there is under the sun. It kind of vexes me. And the only thing that cheers me up is the Holy Spirit. Like, I gotta put it that way. Like, I really do. The only thing that cheers me up, and maybe a little bit of wine, you know, maybe that, maybe a call from my girl, you know what I mean? But, like, other than that, it's like, this world is bleh. It's just bleh. And I think God is going to, like, eventually judge, and just, we're going to restart, and we're not going to have all this stupid crap in the world anymore. All right, I'm going to read chapter 2, and then I'm going to leave, because I don't like reading too long. I'm not, like, in a very, like, I want to read the whole book type of mood. Do I believe in... Yes, demons are real. Ghosts are not actually dead people, but they are disembodied spirits of the Nephilim. So if you really want to know what ghosts are, they're like electric spirit beings of dead creatures. Like, you know how some religions, they worship their ancestors? Well, they're not actually worshiping their ancestors. Those are spirits. They are dead spirits, but they're evil spirits, and they're pretending to be ancestors. They're actually just like these giants, the children of the Watchers. I'll read Enoch to y'all. I need to get a paper copy of Enoch. I need to get paper copies of my books that I want to read, because I'll record on my phone, right? Like, I can do like this and have it on this phone, but you won't be able to read it along like you can read it on a piece of paper, because on here it's very clear. But if I have writing on my other phone, it'll look all glitchy. You won't be able to read it. So I learned that lesson the other day. Okay, chapter 2. The vanity of pleasures, riches, and worldly labor. I said in my heart, I will go and abound with delights and enjoy good things. And I saw that this is also vanity. Yeah, it is. Like, it's a delayed vanity though, because like you enjoy this stuff, but like you've ever, if any of you are old enough to drink, which I'm not sure because you guys are joking about 6, 7, but if you ever drink at night and you get drunk, the next day you're gonna regret it and have a hangover. Anyway, laughter. I counted error. I counted mistakes. And to myrrh I said, why are you vainly deceived? I thought in my heart to withdraw my flesh from wine, that I might turn my mind to wisdom, and might avoid folly, till I might see what was profitable for the children of men, and what they ought to do under the sun all the days of their lives. So he's trying to be perfect. I think that's what he's trying to say. Like, and I've tried this too, and it drove me freaking insane. Like, if you ever tried to be perfect for someone, or for God, or like even as a king, which I respect, like he's a king trying to be perfect for his people and to like show his people what they should do, right? Well, here's what he says. I made great works, and he did. He built houses, he built these temples, he planted vineyards. He says I made gardens, orchards, trees of every kind, right? I made ponds of water and, you know, water and then put wood of young trees. Like, I got servants, men servants, maid servants, and I had a big family. He had a very big family. He had a lot of wives and herds. I think he had over 100 wives, if I'm not mistaken. Um, Oxen, flocks, sheep, like he's just naming everything. You know what I mean? He's just naming everything again. Above, he's had everything. This is a guy who had everything. Above all that were before me in Jerusalem, I heaped together for myself silver and gold. He had a lot of gold. The wealth of kings and provinces. He had the Queen of Sheba was like from a whole other country, and she brought him like a bajillion things, like jewels, spices, gold. Like she brought him so much stuff. He had everything, bruh. He had like everything. I made me singing men and singing women, and the delights of sons of men, cups and vessels to serve, to pour out wine. I do like wine. And I surpassed in riches all that were before me. In Jerusalem, my wisdom also remained with me, and whatsoever my eyes wanted, I did not refuse my eyes. He was right. He was like, yo, I like that woman over there. I'm finna marry her. And she was like, ha ha ha. And he would just get her whatever she wanted, and he get what he wanted. He get everything he wanted. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It just, as long as it's like, was during this time period, you know, obviously, if he's like, I want an Apache helicopter, he wasn't gonna get one because that wasn't invented yet. But this dude had everything, bro. Everything. I withheld not my heart from enjoying every pleasure, and delighting itself in the things which I had prepared, and esteemed this my portion, to make use of my own labor. And when I turned myself to all the works which my hands have wrought, and to the labors where I labored in vain, labored in vain, I saw in all things vanity, vexation of mind. So now he's saying of mind instead of spirit, and that nothing was lasting under the sun. I passed further to behold wisdom and mistakes and folly. What is man, said I, that he can follow the king, his maker? And I saw that wisdom excelled folly, and much as light differs from darkness. And that's true. A lot of people nowadays and in these scriptures are like, they make a comparison between being good or like understanding like the things of God is enlightenment, being wise is enlightenment, right? Light. And then being an idiot or a fool or just a piece of crap type of person is being in the darkness. It's a very, very common thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the enlightened people are usually good and very smart, and then the fools are the people who are just like, imagine like running around and there's no light and you're just like you're running into walls and stuff. Yeah, it's like that. The eyes of a wise man are in his head. The fool walks in darkness. Right, that's what I was just saying. And I learned that they were to die both alike. Oh. And I said in my heart, if the death of a fool and mine shall be one, what does it avail me that I have applied myself more to study wisdom? In speaking with my own mind, I perceived that this also was vanity. He's kind of right. He's kind of right. I can kind of see what he's saying. Like, he's like, well, I'm going to have to die one day. And even though I got so smart, I'm still going to die like the fools die, right? That's what he's saying. There shall be no remembrance of the wise no more than of the fool forever. In the times to come shall cover all things together with oblivion. The learned die in the like manner as the unlearned. Therefore I was weary of my life when I saw that all things under the sun are evil. I've been there, bro. I've been there when I was just like, everything's evil. I've been there. And all vanity and vexation of spirit. Again, I hated my application wherewith I had earnestly worked under the sun, being like to have a hair after me. Bro, everyone hates working. Even Solomon hates working. It's funny. Whom I know not whether he will be a wise man or a fool. He's talking about his children. He's like, I'm gonna leave. I built all this stuff. All right, so here's what he's saying. I built all these things. I have this amazing kingdom. It's the greatest kingdom I've ever had, that my country's ever had, right? And he's going to die one day, and he doesn't know who's gonna inherit it, you know? It could be one of his sons, but like, what if they get invaded and then some other jerk, you know, some ass, some guy from another country takes over, and he doesn't know if that guy's gonna be a fool or a wise man. And he shall have rule over all of my labors, all the things he did, right? All the stuff he built, with which I've worked and been solicitous. And is there anything so vain as this? I mean, it's up there. It's definitely up there to think about that. Like, you built, like, building the greatest kingdom ever with the most gold and like the most amazing, you know, castles, and then some dude just comes and takes it, you know, when you die, and then the next person gets it, and you don't know what they're gonna do or what they're gonna be like, and they might just freaking destroy everything you built, you know. It's crazy. That is a crazy thought. That's a very crazy thought. Wherefore I left off, and my heart renounced working any more under the sun. He had this thought in his head, and he was so mad that he's like, you know what? Just in case some other dude gets this and he just ruins it, I'm just gonna stop working. I'm gonna stop building. For when a man works in wisdom, in knowledge, and carefulness, he leaves what he has gotten up to an idle man. So this is also vanity and a great evil. He's so right, though. He's so right. I mean, think about the children who inherit all the stuff their parents worked for, and then they just be lazy. Ooh. All his days are full of sorrows and miseries. Even in the nights he does not rest in mind. Oh, and I missed something, sorry. What profit shall a man have of all his work, and vexation of spirit with which He's been tormented under the sun. All his days are full of sorrows and miseries. Even in the night, he does not rest in his mind. And is this not also vanity? Is it not better to eat and drink and show his soul good things of his works? And this is from the hand of God, who shall so feast and abound with delights as me. God has given to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he has given vexation and superfluous care, to heap up and to gather together, to give it to him that has pleased God. But this also is vanity and a fruitless solicitude of the mind. So basically, what he's saying is like, okay, we're here to build, right? We build a reputation, you build, you have a home, you start a family and all that stuff. And then when you leave the earth, you don't know what's going to happen, like to your family and all that. Yeah, and you never know. Like, you want your children to marry the right person, and you want your children to have children and to work and to be wise. But like at a certain point, you just don't have control anymore. You can't, even when you are here, you can only change so much. You only have so much influence as a man. And you can build your kingdom, you can have all the riches, you can have all the money, all the castles, and one day you're going to still die, and all that stuff is going to be left to someone else. Amen. Like that's a fact. That's a big fact. That if you're wise, you're going to know this, and then you're going to realize something. Is that all? Is that it? Or is there more to this life? There's more. I'm telling you, there's more. um like it says here, God has given to a man that is good in his sight wisdom and knowledge and joy, but to the sinner he gave vexation and superfluous care, to heap up and to gather things together, to give it to him that pleased God. So what I'm getting from this is like, there's people obsessed with riches, and they'll do anything to get that rich money and the things they want in this world, and eventually they will die, and all the good stuff they worked so hard for and did some shady things to get, it will be laid up for the one that God wants to have it. Which is the irony of it all, is like, that's the vanity of it all, is like, if you ever seen like Scarface, you know how like Scarface, he had all this money, he had all the drugs, he had all the women, he had everything you could ever want, and then he dies in a shootout, right? And then who gets all that money? Who gets that beautiful building, that mansion? Who gets to sleep with this girl after that? Like just think about it, bro. This world, this world is something else. It's temporary, and it's really just about like to test and to teach. It's really just to test and to teach. Like that's all we're here to do, is to learn. Like we're supposed to learn. We're supposed to encounter God. Like find God, find friends, find your family. For some of us, the family you grew up with, you split up with them, and then you find your real peoples. You know what I'm saying? It's a special thing. For me, I have been a traveler. Like I've gone so many different places, different cultures, different people, um, and it's really amazing. Like I gotta thank God for that. That I got to meet all these different people. I got to serve the country and go to Germany and Poland. I got like benefits and stuff from my service, and I've just met so many different people and through music too, and through ministry. Just the people I've gotten to connect with in this world. Um, those are things that I will remember. You know, Some of them I know I'll see in eternity, and some of them probably not, but like anything's possible. But what I'm learning from this is like vanity, right? This life is so full of vanity, and I look for the things that are not vain, the few and far between, the things that really hold their value, whether it's people or just like principles like responsibility. Like, actually, I learned a lot like responsibility is a great thing. And for me, it's not even about, it's crazy. Like, I thought about this too. I thought I was attached to a person, right? I thought it was a person that I was attached to. But then I realized I was actually attached to the role and the responsibility of being that guy, like that husband like guy, like that fatherly guy to somebody. I realized like a lot about who I actually am. I thought I was obsessed with this lady, this woman, and then I realized it wasn't her, it was the role. It was my role. And then I realized who I was. God gave me that wisdom. I'm like, I can live without this person. This person's been sabotaging me, but I know it now. I know what I am, like who I am is supposed to be a fatherly and husband like guy. Like, and I didn't know that about myself because I was kind of antisocial. I was like kind of just in my room, and I would just read this Bible by myself, or I would just play video games, or like I was kind of an antisocial dude. But after going through the military, realizing how short life can be, with the near-death experiences I had, and also realizing how real God is, like I decided I need to come out of my shell. Like it's time to be a leader, and even if I don't get to father children, I can still be a father in a spiritual way, and lead people to Christ. So that's my purpose. Like you can find your purpose in the vanity of life, which is crazy to me. Like a lot of people find God at the end of a gun, or like they're ready to just give up on this life. A lot of people find God in a low place or in a dark place. He'll meet you where you're at. You know, I'm not really a church guy, and I'm proud of that. I'm not really a church guy, is what I learned. Like, I like church. I'll go to church if you invite me, especially if they're gonna have like we're gonna have lunch after. You know what I'm saying? Or a little shindig. But what I learned is that relationship with Christ, with God, and just seeking Him is the most amazing thing you can do. If you want to escape the vanity of life, the vanity of vanities, you just focus on Him, and He'll tell you your mission, and focusing on that mission, and learning what he has for you. It's an amazing thing. It really is. It really is. So that's what I encourage you to do is, yes, this life can be vain. You might build a kingdom like never before, and when you die, it can go to some other person who squanders everything. But just know that there's a day where God is going to make everything right. He's going to judge. There's going to be a day of accounting, right? So, though you might feel like your efforts were wasted, or what you're trying to do, if you're trying to make a difference in this world, even if you just help a couple of homeless people, or you just take care of someone in your family, or you just give a cup of water to somebody, guess what? that will be accounted for. So even though we're talking about vanity of vanities, right? This world is so vain, yeah. You can get stuck in this mindset, but I would focus more on your mission. Okay? Yes. Temporal things. These things, right? Temporal. Time is limited. But knowing time is limited, we need to act. Because a lot of us are told sin. Okay, I'm going to finish with this. A lot of us are told that sin is the things you shouldn't do. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a sin that is just as bad, and it's not doing what you're supposed to do. And I can add another thing to that too. And the last part is this. And another sin is not defending when there's an attack, not standing up for what's the right thing to do. Okay? So take that to the bank. You go to church, they're going to tell you what not to do. I'm going to tell you there's responsibilities that you ought to do. Because if you don't do them, that's a sin. And also, when the devil attacks you, you need to put on that armor, because if you don't, that's also a sin. Sin is anything that can cause harm to you and others. Okay? Now take that to the bank. For real. Take that to the bank.